Okay, bottom line it.
All right, I think that it's sad that it's necessary for the government to legislate personal responsibility. And it's not just credit cards. It's an entire culture of I'm entitled to this and I should have that and I'm special because. And the worst part is when it gets out of hand, like we saw 5 years ago when we were handing out mortgages like chewing gum at recess, then we have to scramble to create new rules designed to save people from themselves as opposed to educating consumers up front. Look, I know living within your means is not as much fun as having a new 3D TV. But did you ever consider that if we didn't give credit to those who don't qualify, maybe they would work harder to earn it for themselves? It is just crazy enough to actually work. All right. They think all of a sudden they have twice as much money now because there's two of you. You don't. Listen up. Sharing finances does not equal sharing love. This is like the viewer who calls me up and wants to know, what do I do with the $200 I'm saving every month? I ask them, do you have any credit card debt costing you a fortune in interest? How about paying that off first? Saving money at 4% in a 401k while your debt accrues at 15% is like trying to clean up a flood in your house without fixing the busted pipe first. Trust me, you will never get the job done. But what they don't limit is the creativity of the bank to impose new fees. I got to tell you, these things are like a bad blind date. You get rid of one and another one pops up, right? This is like kindergarten for credit cards. What if you're somebody who doesn't need a remedial course in responsibility? Guess what? You still get stuck. I was listening to one guy this morning. He was saying the downside is now it's harder for someone with poor credit history to get a credit card. How is that the downside? Credit is something you earn, not something you are entitled to. But are we really at the point where we need to legislate good judgment? Let's remember, this is a retirement account, not a savings account. If Americans are draining their 401k accounts pre-retirement, then the solution isn't limiting the amount of money that we can take out. It's retooling our priorities to make saving for the future something that's more important than whatever our immediate need may be today.
Yeah, very important distinction. Okay, but that bill would ban products like debit cards that are linked to the 401k. Is that a good idea?
I can't even believe these things exist. A 401k debit card? Look, there are some very legitimate reasons to dip into your 401k. I get it, especially in the down economy. Illness, saving your homestead, maybe even your kids' education, although you should have a totally separate account for that. If you're using your 401k through a debit card to fund your grocery bill or your next vacation, your financial priorities are a mess. Cut up the card. You don't need the government to take it away from you. We are talking about young relationships, and I think you need an exit plan. You just agreed not to overspend on the apartment, right? So take the extra money, stash it away in an emergency exit fund. You don't want to be in a position where you have to stay in a relationship because you can't afford to leave. If you do stay together for years to come, fantastic. Take half of your emergency exit fund, spend it on a luxury vacation to celebrate your 10-year anniversary, and I hope you send me a postcard.
There you go.
All right, you ready? This is groundbreaking, so listen closely. Get a credit card and use it responsibly. I know. I hear it all the time. I have poor credit. The interest rate is 20%. Look, if you charge one thing each month and then pay it off in full each month, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is because you're not paying it. And the more you do this, the lower your rate gets because you have earned the trust of the lender. Well, you know, the cash and prizes may have changed, but the rules are the same, and they're as simple as this. Companies don't make offers that don't make money. 2 words, you ready? Credit union. I do all of my banking at a credit union. I even have my mortgage there where there is little or no balance requirement for any of my accounts. They have lower fees, they have higher dividends. My credit union never charges me for using their ATM, and when I use somebody else's, they refund those fees. And I think a lot of consumers really miss the boat here. They still think that credit unions are somehow exclusive or for the uninsured. They are not. All you have to do to become a member of my credit union is walk in and sign up. And if credit unions are not an option, I say talk to the bank. Remember, you're still a customer here. Ask them to waive your fees, especially if you have multiple accounts, or you march in there and you tell them that you're going to take your business elsewhere, like maybe to a smaller local bank who, trust me, would be happy to have you.